Good afternoon, Mr. Pacho's class, and welcome back to Trigonometry.
Alrighty, okay, so that's going to be, this is going to be, let me see, chapter 2, section 4, and we're going to be working on, we just finished example 2. This should be part of example 3. So, now, think of it like this, okay, so the second vocabulary is, if I am feeling down, how am I feeling? What would be another way of saying that you feel down?
Depressed.
You are depressed, right?
Sad.
So, the angle going down is the angle of depression. Okay? And the next one we're going to be talking about is, okay, the angle of Jordan.
Elevation.
Because he elevates, right? He gets up there. Jordan. Remember the basketball player, Jordan? Oh my goodness, please. Okay, anyway. All right, so going up. Okay, so now, this other one would be elevator. Elevator is going to go up. Okay, elevate is your angle going up. Elevate is your angle going up. Depression is the angle going down. Okay, so now I'm going to explain this a little bit more. Blah, blah, blah. Horizontal line, blah, blah, draw a sketch, blah. Okay, so now, this is what we're talking about here. So now, this right here says, Pat Porterfield knows that when she stands 123 feet from the base of a flagpole. So that's 123 feet going this way, right? Okay. Is 26 degrees, 40 minutes. If her eyes... Oh, angle of elevation. There it is. Angle of elevation. So now, it's going to be bottom up. Okay. Is going to be the angle of elevation there. So bottom up is the angle of elevation. To the top of the flagpole, 26 degrees, 40 minutes. For eyes are 5.3 feet above the ground. So that's where it's starting this right here. Okay. Find the height of the flagpole. Now, first thing we're going to deal with is my triangle. My triangle is just this piece right here. I'm only talking about this piece right here right now. Is that triangle off the ground? Say yes.
Yes.
It is off the ground. So when I am done, am I going to have to add value or take away a value?
Take away value.
Add, because we're trying to figure out how tall it is, right? Because it's already starting off the ground, so therefore I'm going to have to add some more height to it. Okay?
Which would be 5.
Yeah, that would be the 5.3. So now, let's try and figure out. So now, this angle, angle A, is my angle of reference. So if that's the angle of reference, directly across from the angle of reference is going to be called the opposite. This side over here is the hypotenuse, and down here is the adjacent. So now, which one do I have to use?
You have to use the opposite.
I have to use the opposite, right? And I also have to use adjacent, don't I? Okay, I can't use hypotenuse and opposite because they're both unknown, right? I have to use one of the ones that I do know. So I know that the adjacent's there. So I'm going to use adjacent and opposite. So what ratio does that use?
Oh yeah, tangent.
Tangent. It is going to be tangent. Do we need to write it down?
Yes.
Do we need to write the mnemonic down? So let's see. So some old hippie caught another hippie tripping on acid, right?
Yeah.
So opposite adjacent is going to be my tangent. So I'm going to write tangent. What's my angle? 26 degrees, 40 minutes, right? Is equal to what over what?
Angle A over 132 feet.
Okay, so A over 123, right? So, I'm going to do algebra now. I'm trying to get the A by itself. So what am I going to do to both sides of my equation to get A by itself?
Multiply 133.
Very good. Multiply both sides by 123. So it's going to be 123 times the tangent of 26 is equal to A. Now that A is by itself, what can I do? Do it. Plug it in. Plug it in. Play with that.
Huh?
61.
Yeah, like,
What'd you get? 60 what?
61.
So-
What do we have to plug it into? I forgot.
Right here, look. All this right here.
Oh, just in the calculator?
Yeah.
Oh,
You said 61 point what?
8.
0.8 or 7? 8? Okay. And what are my units?
Feet.
Yeah,
Feet. Now, I started at the very beginning. I said this thing is off the ground, right? The triangle is off the ground. So what do I have to do to find the total distance off the ground?
yeah, 5.3.
So I'm going to add, because I'm looking for the total distance from here all the way down to the ground. So I have to add that 5.3. So my answer is going to be
1.
feet. Is that pretty easy now? So the biggest issue, the big difference that we're talking about now is angle of depression or angle of elevation. Elevation is from the bottom up. Depression would be from top down.
So if it was from top down, you subtract it.
Here's one right here. So it's going to be from right here, top down. So it is going to be a parallel line right here. So this line right here, okay, it's a parallel line to the ground. So it's going to be from someplace up here down this way. So whenever we're talking about lines of sight, it's actually going to be continuously going in the same direction as the ground. Okay, so it's going that way. Angle of depression is going down. So right here it says from top of a 210-foot cliff, David observes lighthouse that is 430 feet offshore, way over here. Find the angle of depression from the top of the cliff to the base of the lighthouse. Find the angle of depression. Find the angle. Okay, this should actually like hit like this key word, find the angle. So when I say find the angle, you have to do the inverse. Class?
Yes.
Okay, let's try this again. Class?
Yes.
When I'm trying to find the angle, I have to do the inverse. Good job. Okay, I have to do the inverse. So let's go ahead and set this up now. So I'm going to be looking at this. So now there's a couple things that I know. I know that the angle of depression and the angle of elevation are always going to be congruent. They're always congruent because they're alternate interior angles. They're alternate interior angles. So I'm going to go through and actually start doing this right here. So now, because of this right here, I know that I'm going to be looking for this angle. I'm going to call that theta. So, from this angle right here, this side way over here would be considered the opposite, right? This side right here, hypotenuse. Down here, adjacent, right? Again, what ratio am I going to be working with?
The outside.
10, right? 10 because it's going to be opposite and adjacent, isn't it? So I'm going to have tan of what? What is my angle here?
210.
Oh.
Because we're looking for that one, right? And tangent's equal to what over what? Opposite over? Okay, so it's 210. 430, very good. Now, when I'm doing the inverse right here, what am I switching? I'm getting the angle by itself, right? I'm going to get the angle by itself, so I'm going to switch this right here and this right here. So it's going to be theta equals inverse tan of 210 over 430. And this is where we try to plug it in the calculator to get this. 26.0? what? What are my units here?
Degrees.
Degrees, because I'm looking for an angle, right? My angles are measured in degrees. If I'm looking for a side, I would have to be feet on this case. Huh? You have 27?
Should be 430. I'll put 400. There we go.
No, I thought that zero was I thought there was
Yeah. All right.
This is 0 too.
Yeah, I see.
All right, guess what? That's it. Did everyone like and subscribe?
No.
Okay, make sure you smash that button for notifications.
So you can get paid.
Yes, someone's going to get paid. Yes, go ahead.
Meaning he's gonna have a party for class.